Welcome back, deep divers. Today we are diving deep into all the latest in AI thanks to the Increase Your ZAKA newsletter. This stuff is seriously mind-blowing, folks. We're talking an AI that writes its own code, Amazon making huge GE bets, billions of dollars on AI companies, and get this, AI that's becoming emotionally intelligent.
It really is incredible how quickly AI is advancing. Yeah, it's hard to keep up.
Okay, so let's start with Amazon's $4 billion investment, right? That's on top of the $4 billion they put in earlier. They're going all in on Anthropic, and Anthropic is developing an AI called Claude. Now, on the surface, it might look like, just another chatbot like ChatGPT, but is there more to it? Like, why is Amazon doubling down? What's so special about Claude?
Yeah, Claude, it may seem like just another chatbot at first glance, but Anthropic's goal is much bigger. And you got to remember, they were founded by former OpenAI researchers, so they know what they're doing. What they're really going for is an AI that can do these complex, multi-step tasks. So think about it, an AI that can't just, write a report, but can also analyze data, put together a presentation, maybe even send emails for you. I mean, the possibilities are mind-blowing, and that's exactly what Amazon's betting on.
Okay, yeah, the business applications are huge. But what makes Claude different? What makes it worth, such a massive investment?
Well, one thing is that Anthropic is really focused on, safety and ethical development. They want to make sure this AI is powerful, yes, but also reliable and aligns with human values, which is a big concern for a lot of people. And then there's the hardware side of things. Amazon is using its own custom designed chips. They're called Trainium and Inferentia. And these chips are like specialized brains, basically, made for AI, which makes them incredibly fast and efficient. It's a huge advantage for Amazon in terms of performance and cost.
It's amazing how it all works together, the hardware and software, to really push AI forward. Okay, now, this is the part that blew my mind. Dinosaur. Dinosaur is an AI developed by researchers at University of Maryland and Adobe. And this thing can write its own Python code. I mean, it's not just like following instructions. It's learning and adapting in real time. I'm having trouble wrapping my head around it. Break it down for me.
Okay, so think of it this way, right? Traditional AI, it's like a chef who's working from a recipe book. They can make amazing dishes if, they follow the recipe, but that's all they can do, the recipes they know. Dinosaur, on the other hand, it's like a chef who can invent completely new recipes, based on the ingredients they have and what they're trying to create. Dinosaur can analyze a problem, figure out the tools it needs, and then it actually writes the code to create those tools. It's amazing. It's a level of problem solving we haven't seen from AI before.
Yeah, so it's not just about like the coding itself. It's about AI becoming a problem solver. The newsletter mentioned that Dinosaur actually beat another advanced AI called GAIA in tests. And not just any tests, complex long-term tasks. That's really impressive.
Totally. It's a huge leap toward these self-evolving AIs. That could really change everything. It makes you wonder what the future of software development will even look like.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay, so we talked about self-writing AI. Now back to Amazon's big debt, Claude. It's not just about, complex tasks. It's also about becoming emotionally intelligent. Hume AI is working with Anthropic to give Claude emotional awareness. They're using their EVI2 model for this. Okay, so what does that even mean for AI? Can you, give me a concrete example of how this might actually work?
Okay, so imagine, you're dealing with like a customer service chatbot.
Hmm.
Your order is late, you're frustrated, and, maybe you're not being super polite about it. Now, a regular chatbot would probably just, give you some standard answer. It might even make things worse, right?
Pay it.
But Claude, with emotional awareness, it could pick up on your frustration, from your words, your tone of voice, and then it would actually change its response. It could, express empathy, sincerely apologize, and really try to find a solution for you. It could actually turn a bad experience into a good one.
Wow. That would change customer service for sure. But think about education, an AI tutor that can adapt to how a student is feeling, or even mental health support.
Absolutely. It's AI that doesn't just understand our words, but actually, understands us.
So we've got Amazon betting big on Anthropic and their emotionally aware AI, Claude, which is amazing. And then we've got Dinosaur, this self-writing AI, also incredible. But the ZAKA newsletter, it had a ton of other AI news too.
Oh yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, let's dive into those next.
It seems like every week there's some new crazy breakthrough in AI. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah. Speaking of keeping up, the newsletter had a whole section on AI trends. You ready for a rapid fire rundown?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Okay, first up we got NVIDIA. And it seems like they're not just about, gaming graphics cards anymore. They've got this new thing, Edify 3D. It's an AI model that can, like, turn text or images into 3D models in just minutes. Think about what that could do for, I don't know, movies, video games, even architecture.
It's wild. I mean, imagine, instead of spending hours, days even, building these 3D models, you just describe what you want or sketch it out, and boom, Edify 3D just creates it. It could really change how we design and create things.
Totally. Okay, next up. Google's giving their Gemini chatbot even more power. With the new Android 16, it's going to be like way more integrated with apps than Google Assistant ever was. They're moving toward like a future where we just talk to our phones.
It's definitely possible. I mean, Gemini could become like this central hub for everything on your phone. Texting, calls, calendar, even controlling your smart home. It could make interacting with technology
Right.
so much easier, more natural.
Yeah, cool. Okay, then there's the research on AI simulations. These simulations are getting so good at like mimicking human behavior. It's kind of creepy, but also really fascinating.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But it's also a really powerful tool, for understanding like social dynamics, economics, even how people make decisions. Imagine being able to like run virtual experiments on, I don't know, different policies or see how people might react in a crisis. It could give us some really valuable insights.
That's true. And while we're on the topic of ethics, OpenAI is actually funding research into, get this, AI morality at Duke University, no less. They're trying to figure out how to create algorithms that can basically predict human moral judgments. Seems like a huge step toward making sure AI aligns with, our values.
It's essential, really. I mean, as AI gets more autonomous, more integrated into our lives, we need to make sure it's making ethically sound decisions. This research could lead to guidelines, frameworks for building AI that's not just intelligent, but also morally responsible.
Yeah. It feels like the conversation around AI is shifting from like, what can we do to what should we do? And speaking of should we do this, we can't ignore all the legal stuff happening around AI right now. Elon Musk's lawsuit against OpenAI is kind of a big deal.
For sure. It definitely highlights all the tension and uncertainty around AI development.
Hmm.
Musk is worried about AI safety and, OpenAI kind of shifting from nonprofit to for-profit. It brings up some big questions about who controls AI, how it's developed, and what its goals should be.
Big questions. All right, well, let's move on to something a bit more practical. The newsletter talked about how AI is changing dynamic pricing. It listed like 5 tools that are helping businesses adjust prices in real time, based on things like demand, competition, even customer behavior.
AI is totally changing the game for dynamic pricing. Instead of using these static pricing models, you can now use AI to optimize prices like on the fly. You can maximize profits, but still stay competitive.
So it's about finding that balance between making money and giving customers a good deal.
Exactly. And these AI tools are making it so much easier. If you're interested in those specific tools, the newsletter mentioned, like Zilliant, Omnia Retail, Rivionics, Wiser, Price Lab, check them out. Really interesting stuff.
Sounds good. Now, this is something I think a lot of our listeners will appreciate. The newsletter also talked about a tool called Typeflow, and it's designed to basically make creating blog posts way easier. I don't know about you, but I've spent countless hours formatting, optimizing, tweaking, and I'm always looking for a better way.
Typeflow is a great example of how AI can, automate all that tedious stuff that we all hate doing. It takes care of formatting, layout, SEO, everything. The best part is it's super easy to use.
Okay, walk me through it. How does it work?
Super simple. You install the Typeflow add-on for Google Docs, format your document like you normally would, and then you launch Typeflow. It analyzes your content, optimizes the layout, adds SEO elements, and then you can either publish it directly to your blog or export it as a draft.
So it's like having a virtual assistant who's like a blog post expert.
Exactly. It takes care of all the technical stuff so you can focus on the writing, the creative part. It's kind of crazy, right? AI is going from just automating these little tasks to like doing these complex creative things. It makes you wonder, what jobs are next.
It does. It's a big question, the future of work. But for now, let's get back to that mind-blowing AI we talked about. Dinosaur, the one that writes its own code. The implications are huge.
Totally. I mean, Dinosaur is like the perfect example of AI breaking those boundaries we thought existed. It's not just following instructions anymore, it's creating.
Yeah, it's like we gave AI a toolbox and now it's building its own tools. Is this like a step toward what some people call artificial general intelligence,
Right.
AGI, an AI that can do anything a human can intellectually. Is Dinosaur a sign that we're on the path to something really groundbreaking?
I think it's definitely adding fuel to that whole AGI debate. Some experts, they think that self-writing AI is a crucial step toward AGI. Others, they say we're still a long way off. And that Dinosaur, while impressive, is, still just another tool. It's like the difference between a calculator and a mathematician. You know, one can do calculations, but the other understands the concepts, can develop new theories.
That's a good way to put it. So where do you stand? Do you think dinosaur means we're like on the verge of creating real AGI?
It's tough to say, for sure. I mean, this is all new territory. What we do know is that AI, like Dinosaur is, changing what we thought was possible. It's exciting, but also, something to be careful about. The possibilities are amazing, but there are risks too.
You're right. It's not all just, cool tech demos. We got to think about the ethical side of things. What happens when AI can learn and evolve on its own?
Absolutely. As AI gets more advanced, more independent, we need to make sure that it's aligned with human values, human goals. We got to be asking, who's in control? How do we prevent bias? What safeguards do we need?
And as we saw with, the lawsuit against OpenAI, those questions are becoming more and more urgent.
Yeah, no doubt. We're at a point now where the decisions we make today are going to shape the future of AI
Yeah.
and how it impacts, all of us.
That's a great point. And I think it's a good place to wrap things up. This deep dive into AI has been, well, pretty amazing. We've seen some incredible things like an AI writing its own code. But we've also talked about, the potential dangers, the ethical questions we need to answer.
Yeah, AI is a powerful tool. We need to use it responsibly.
Couldn't agree more. So as we sign off, we want to leave you with a question to think about. What do you think the future of AI holds? Are we on the brink of a revolution that will change everything? Or are we getting ahead of ourselves? Share your thoughts with us on social media and keep exploring. Until next time, stay curious.